Do you have a cold open in mind?
I've been running around from place to place to place. I've been running from Chinatown to the Mason-Dixon line. I'm in search of this cold open. I just can't find it. Lordy, Lordy, what do we do? Nick, we need this. We need you now, like we've never needed you before.
You've never needed me before. Adam Rains, you've had fantastic experiences, and let's tuck into that.
Ooh.
Hello and welcome back to the Tiki Rebellion. I am, of course, Nick, and this legendary gentleman that's joining me is the one, the only, Mr. Adam Rains. How does the night find you, Admiral Rains?
Man, tonight's been great. It's been another fun few weeks. Fun and fantastical, filled of rum, fun, fire, and a lot of whoozy whatsy.
Pretty much that's all anyone's looking for is the whoozy whatsy. Now, when we started this out, we wanted to kind of have a schedule to which we'd record to. However, we are beholden to the tiki gods that pull us in this direction and that. And as I understand it, Adam, you have been pulled in many a direction as of late.
Yes, there's been a little bit of travel on the docket because part of my job is being the bar manager, lead mixologist, head bartender, brand ambassador, janitor, whatever you want to say. Part of that is for that beautiful tiki outreach. Like me and my buddy Nick Morningstar, we got to go to Tucson and for the opening of Kabali Tiki. If you listen to that episode, you might have heard us discussing that. But then directly after that, we I went to Miami for the Miami Rum Congress, which was pretty fun. It was you feel like you're in the Caribbean. If you're in Miami, you are in the Caribbean.
So there's a rum congress in Miami.
There is. It's part of now. Federico is starting to do different rum festivals all over the country throughout the year. And this is one of his series. He's doing them in Chicago, in New York, San Francisco, LA. Miami is one of them, and yeah, it's in the Miami Convention Center in Miami Beach, which beautiful area. You ever been to Miami?
Yeah, I've been there a couple times. My mom used to live in Fort Lauderdale. So yeah, this one very ill-fated trip. I was probably in my early 30s and we went down to visit my mom in Fort Lauderdale. And went up and did Disney and Universal. And of course, on the way back, if you don't do Cape Canaveral, you have no appreciation for sciences. But we decided, the girl I was dating at the time and I, to just have a Will Smith night and hit up some of the Miami hotel beach bars. And this is well
What do you say,
before I
Will
moved.
Smith?
Yeah, Will Smith,
Oh
uh,
wow,
going
welcome.
to Miami.
Oh
Um,
yes, yes.
I don't want to get his copyright struck because that
Soundtrack.
was such a
Oh,
one-to-one. But yeah, we went to these like hotel or beach hotel bars, and this is well before I lived in Las Vegas. And I was like, wow, a gin and tonic is $24. This is very exciting. But there's a bed on the beach. Oh, good. No, that makes up for it. This is much better than that. Again, I have never at any point in my life been anything other than an out of shape Midwesterner. So I'm just like, this $24 gin and tonic is not a passport to anything other than me drinking this and just going back and being depressed about this whole situation. So yeah, I love Miami. Great place. Can't wait to go back.
no, I had a lot of fun there. I mean, it's definitely. I mean, you might have found this. It feels like you are in another country. I mean,
100%. Some of
everyone
the best Cubano sandwiches I've ever had.
and the yeah, the vibe in the air. I mean, it's not just the humidity and the weather. It's just the vibe, the energy of that city is just it's pulsating to salsa, and it's great. Everywhere you go, everyone speaks Spanish to you, no matter how pale you look, how much like you don't speak Spanish, they don't care. They'll speak Spanish, which for me is amazing because I always want to practice. I could see some people would get annoyed with the communication factor, but I found it really fun and it gave a flavor for the area. And then of course all the great Cuban food and there's the great arts districts. It was like beautiful skyline. I found it really intriguing. I got to do some pop ups there, do some work related stuff, and then do the Rum Congress. But I definitely wish I could spend some more time.
So Rum Congress was Ron DeSantis. Did he have anything to do with that? The governor of Florida.
Ron Sanctimonious, you mean?
To
He
use a
was not.
Trumpism.
Yes. He wasn't there,
Okay, so it seems fairly
fortunately.
illegitimate to me. But okay, you did some pop-ups, you did some things that are well within your kind of normal day to day. But what is Rum Congress? I mean, when you say something like that, I think there's a group of delegates that are either pro-rum or anti-rum, just shouting at each other in a room with really no goal other than to make some major corporation more money. So, am I correct in that? What is Rum Congress?
Well, Rum Congress definitely. I mean, corporations are making their money either way, and corporations are involved because some corporations own some of the bigger rum companies. But no, essentially, it is a gathering of some of the finest rum people in the universe, in the country, in our world. So you have rum brand ambassadors, you have writers like Matt Petrick had seminars there and sat on several panel interviews. Mitch Wilson, Julio Cabrera from Capilla Trova, of course, Daniele Della Pola was there. There were several different seminars by a lot of people. I know the master blender Don Pancho, the legendary Don
Wow.
Pancho, was there. Um, and like everywhere you looked, it was just who's the rum. Like every major rum company passes through Miami. It's the hub to Latin America and the Caribbean. So you just had it full of just rum people and great rum minds, some that I had never met before or even heard of. But there was seminars on how to start with an emerging brand, how to market this emerging brand, and all the way to kind of it went a little bit past Rum 101. This wasn't really the Rum 101 place. But seminars were on Friday, and then Saturday they opened the halls to everybody. And every brand would have a bar or a table where they would taste their rums and give you tasting notes on them, let you give your impressions on them as well. Some people were making cocktails, and there was like Plantaray was there, Santa Teresa rums of Puerto Rico were a big part of it. St. James, I really like Lemon Heart was there. Like everyone was there. Black Tot rum, El Dorado. I tasted some new El Dorado offerings, and then a lot of like there was like some Canadian rum brands, yeah, that I'd never heard before, like Romero from Alberta. Like you don't think of
Wow.
Canada as being a rum
Canadian
producer,
rum.
you know?
That's
Yeah,
yeah, I've never come across that. So now is
and
this
it wasn't
something
bad too. Like and
what a
sorry to
glowing
interrupt you, my
recommendation.
fine sir. No, it was good. They did because obviously tradition of aging things in oak, and some of their oak aged rums were great. Like the sherry finished rum was great, but almost anything in a sherry cask, gonna like almost. I mean, to be
Covers a
fair,
lot of sins.
it does.
So now is this Rum Congress something kind of like Tiki Oasis where any average Joe Smo can go to, or is this more like Tiki by the Sea where you have to be an industry professional to gain entrance?
It was a mixture for sure. I'd say it leans more Tiki Oasis, as in there's a lot of more novices there. But it had a lot more, I mean, some more in-depth educational offerings there. So on Friday was mainly education focused. So on Friday you would have a different package. So if you were there on Friday, you were there for the education. If you were there on Saturday, you were mainly probably there for the tasting. There were some seminars and stuff like that as well on Saturday. But so I liked it because everyone that was there either really knew a lot about rum or wanted to know a lot about rum and wanted to raise and elevate the category, which is, I know
Yeah, a lot of
you and myself are
enthusiasts.
brilliant to that.
I
Absolutely.
couldn't get behind that more. So, when we've talked about this briefly before, and at some point we'll do an episode of what Adam's life at Tiki Oasis is. But as someone who's been at Tiki Oasis firsthand with you, I'm acutely aware of how many irons you have in the fire at that event. Is this a similar thing for you? Are you not only creating but helping make the sausage? Are you there more as sort of an educated participant that isn't putting as much forth? Like what is Rum Congress for you?
For me, Rum Congress is definitely a lower impact than Tiki Oasis. Yeah, Tiki Oasis were putting on educational seminars. We're doing pop up bars. We are doing tastings. We are, helping out in the with the batch bunch and helping out other seminars and just being all over there as much as we can for room parties as well. This one, I was mainly there, obviously being an ambassador. I work. I don't know if all of you know, but I work at a bar called the Golden Tiki. That's I don't know if we mentioned it earlier. So I'm a brand ambassador for that, and so I'm just hanging out with our rum family and tasting new rums, doing that research. That research is never ending. It's tiring. I know you know. Yeah, I know you know the pain, Nick.
Oh yeah, I
And
mean, well, yeah, pain's a way to look at it, but it's also like it's exciting because you never it's a road you don't reach the end of. Like as much as you become an expert in the field, there's constantly and this is such a fantastic thing. There's constantly someone else innovating. Like you think you've tried every iteration of a spirit. And just like in our episode where we tried different iterations of rum, then you bring out this Mexican rum that is mushroom infused. Like no one's thought of that.
I still have it here.
That
Yeah,
I
it
can't
needs to
believe we
go
haven't
back to
burned
the
it
Golden
down.
Tiki.
Yeah. Uh um but yeah, that sounds so informative and so educational. So like how
And
many rum congresses have you been to at this point?
now I've been to two. I went to LA Rum Fest, which they just call it the Rum Fest. And then this one. And then in both cases, like I mentioned, I'm there as a brand ambassador for Golden Tiki, but I'm also assisting a brand. There is an Amaro brand that has been a part of these Rum Congress. I know it's weird, Amaro at a Rum Congress, but it is being the only Amaro brand, it definitely had a lot of interest there because it's something different. After you've tried maybe 50 or 60 rums, Amaro sounds good. It's like a little change
Well,
up. It's
palate
a nice little
cleanser,
change.
yeah, something to
Mm-hmm.
uh re-excite the taste buds. So when you do something like Rum Congress, this is like a 3 day deal?
This one was 2 days,
Two
and
days,
then
okay.
we did the we set up Friday night. I didn't even tell you we did a pop up. I might have told you pop up at famous bar Zotico.
Okay.
Yeah,
What
which
happens when you do a pop-up at something like that?
so pop up is always really fun because you're essentially bringing a little bit of your bar, in our case Golden Tiki, bringing our bar to the guest bar. So everyone
Okay.
always, it's a really nice communal atmosphere because you learn from them, they learn from you, and it's something special for them. It's special, something special and unique for their guests. Because at this pop up, we're in Miami, Florida. I had guests that were like, "Oh my God, we were just at Golden Tiki last week," or, "Oh, 2 months ago." We went there right after we got married, and it's such a big part of our life. So it's just great to feel those connections from across the country.
So yeah, a big
Um,
part of this pop-up is you go to another bar and then say, wow, I feel bad for what you do. Don't worry, I'm from the Golden Tiki. I'll give you a good night. Finally people will be excited about this sad, broken down, whatever you're doing. We're from Las Vegas, we've got you. That's basically what it is.
Yeah, well, it's always essentially you're doing some drinks. You're doing some of your drinks, and you're hoping people like them. You're getting to drink some drinks, and you're having some fun. And in this case, it was extra special because Bar Exotico was started by famous legendary bartender Daniele Dalla Pola, which, if you're familiar with him, he had one of the only tiki bars in Italy, in Bologna, Italy, the new lounge. And then he started Exotico, which is a great, beautiful tropical escapism bar. He has some really good magical presentations, loads of drags, smoke, and you'll see Daniele run around that bar yelling, having a good time, just stoking the fires of fun. And then he most recently, a few years back, he started the Kahona Room, which is in the back. So it is essentially, I don't want to say this word out loud, but speakeasy tiki essentially is what it is.
Oh
So
yeah, kind of like the new bamboo room. They just renovated in Three Dots in a Dash.
yes, exactly. And so it's smaller. They can do more enhanced presentations. They can have their selection back there is more showcased and more even more curated than it is in the main room. And it's like a cathedral in there. It's a cathedral to rum and tiki. It's beautiful. I mean, the whole bar is beautiful. But what made it more even special because Danielle is definitely consider him a mentor. Um, but they're actually rebranding Bar Exotico. I don't know if you knew that,
No, I did
but they're
not.
rebranding it. So we got to go and do one of the last little takeovers there before like this famous storied bar is closing essentially and rebranding. Kahuna Room will still be open though. So that legacy still moves on.
So just to 100% make sure everything's clear on or for everyone, it's not because of your takeover they're rebranding.
I don't know. We do rub off on people on occasion, but no. I think they were thinking about doing it for a bit. Like obviously that bar has an energy that had amazing energy, and we felt really lucky to be there. Stoked that Daniele, grazie mille, thank you, brother, for letting us do the thing. But I know this kind of frees him up. He'll still be a part of Kahona Room, but it frees him up for other projects, which he's always hustling, always moving forward, always trying to do new things and move this tiki thing ahead. So
No, and that's super
wish him
exciting.
well.
And yeah, I kind of shot earlier on takeovers and like, yeah, we're better, so they brought us in. But really within the tiki community, like takeovers are one of our favorite things because we get to bring other people, either go to other bars that do what we do or bring other people in that do what we do and just kind of celebrate that. And it's one of my favorite things again within tiki. It's not like if you work in a steakhouse like you work at Fleming's and then you have a night like, hey guys, we're gonna bring Ruth's Chris in. All right. Like I know we're a good steakhouse, but tonight Ruth's Chris is coming in. They're doing their menu. It's gonna be a fun time. Like that's sort of like waving the white flag, like we surrender. But what's
Right,
so
right.
neat within the tiki community is it's like, yeah, like we do cool things and we hope that you come here to celebrate that. But then also like these guys that are maybe a bit more of a drive they're doing cool things too, so we're going to bring them here. You come to our bar, get a little slice of what they do, get a little slice of what we do, and everyone's closer for all of it. So yeah, I've always loved takeovers. I think it's super cool that we do that, and especially yeah, a place like how do you pronounce it? You say it with such a great accent.
Exotico.
Exotico. Such a
Oh.
great place like Exotico. In Florida, getting to bring some of our West Coast adjacent tiki love to the East Coast is super cool, and I couldn't be happier that you got to do that.
Yeah. I was really fortunate to be there, and then the whole crew, the hospitality there that they show, and just the fun that they had. It was epic. And actually, after I was off the bar, they got really busy, so I got the bar back there too. So I could say,
Oh
actually
yeah,
was putting in some work and sweat,
just
knocking the dust off.
wearing many hats and yeah, just spreading that Ohana love, spreading that tiki. Love to hear it. Wow, it sounds like you did a lot of super cool stuff in Miami. That's yeah, that it's very interesting to see kind of the directions you get pulled in. But you also mentioned that you went to Arizona for cocktail week. So I'd imagine any week I was in Arizona, I could call it cocktail week because that's probably what I'm doing. But what does Arizona Cocktail Week mean to you?
Arizona Cocktail Week is a festival, cocktail festival that was started by a lot of people, but Aaron DeFeo, Ross Simon from Bitter and Twisted, among others. But they have a really really strong community there, and this is one thing that they wanted to focus. They want to bring that spotlight of the world to Phoenix and saying like, yeah, there's world class stuff here. Not everyone would know that, so they started it, and it days long of events, some education, and just things, ways to showcase different venues of Phoenix and from all over the world. And then it ends with a Arizona Slinger cocktail competition, which is always a blast, you know.
Okay, so they're showcasing kind of bars around Arizona, Phoenix specifically, that are doing super cool stuff, but then additionally they're inviting in other bars they deem worthy of holding up to Phoenix bars.
Right, right. And then bars that they aspire to as well. Like they'll bring in bars from all over the world. They brought bars from England. They brought bars from New York, like Death and Company from there. Other bars from Las Vegas. They had Herbs and Rye. We got to hang out with Nick Kelly and the crew, and G and everybody, and that was a blast. And but yeah, they'll bring them in from all over the world, and that kind of culminates. I mean, the last night is the Arizona Slinger cocktail competition, which is always good because they have a lot of talented bartenders there. But Sunday night is the Top Bars event, and that's what they invited us for specifically. Top Bars is a 4 or 5 hour long cocktail carnival, essentially, where you'll have every bar set up. All these bars, I think there was like 40 bars, something like that, all doing at least two cocktails each. And you have bartenders from all these bars, and you can go as a patron. You just go and sample all of these cocktails, of course, responsibly. It's very
Always.
important. But so you get to get a taste of a bar from Singapore, from a bar from New York, from Denver, from San Francisco. Like you get really the best of the world, like right there. It was really fun, and Golden Tiki's been invited most years to go, so it's kind of a big deal to go, to be invited to be among these bars. Like even just to be us and Herbs and Rye is a really, it makes me very honored. You know, they're
Yeah, Las
very,
Vegas represent.
so many accolades. So yeah, it's super fun, and it's a way for you just see people, you know, people in the industry that you haven't seen in a long time, and it's just like the beverage world just goes and takes over Phoenix. And then of course you get to try out, if you're lucky, you get to try out some of their bars as well, and a lot of their best bars like Undertow, of course, always busy anyway, and always reservation only. Like you can go there if you want. You can try Bitter and Twisted, which the food was phenomenal, and the cocktails are always stellar. And like they're at the end of the cocktail festival party at Arizona Cocktail Week at Bitter Twist is always legendary too. You always have people that are invited behind the bar, and of course, like our buddy Sung Ha was invited behind the bar, so of course we're going to ask him to make a Ramos Gin Fizz, and then when he's done with that one, ask him to make another one,
Right.
and then so 20 minutes later, yeah, he's still shaking your cocktails. It's great.
So when you go and do something like that, representing the Golden Tiki at another event, you're doing Arizona Cocktail Week or some other kind of pop up like that. Are you making a cocktail that people can then come to the Golden Tiki and order, or are you creating like a unique libation that only exists within the course of that tasting event?
And everyone has been somewhat different. I like to bring a little bit of the Golden Tiki there if I can. But in this case, it was the sponsor was George Dickel Tennessee whiskey.
Dickel Rye,
Uh,
yeah.
Dickel Rye gave you that Dickel tickle. Um, but so I made two different cocktails. One that was similar to the Demon Seaman. I don't know if you've heard of that one. We made one like that, which is it is whiskey that is infused with cayenne pepper, vanilla and cinnamon, coconut cream and pineapple. So it's tropical, a little bit of heat, a little bit of a spice from the rye, and then of course the spice involved with the cinnamon and Thai chili. That one's always a crowd pleaser. Normally at the Gold Tiki, we do it as a shot. And I think I pronounced that wrong. Demon Seaman. Sorry.
See,
Oh,
man,
it's Seaman. That's how it's spelled. So that's how
we
I should
record
pronounce
these
it,
late
right?
at night, so
Yeah.
yeah, the mind slips.
So
We just say what we're thinking of.
exactly. So the demon semen you can have. It won't be exactly the same. But we did that one, and then and we did the monkey's eyebrows, which is one of our secret menu items at the Golden Tiki.
I've only heard of it spoken of in myth and legend.
And I just tell everything. So testimonials. This just in some testimonials from that cocktail. There are numerous people that stayed that were there was a line at our bar the whole night, but then they stayed afterwards to just come and say ours was the best cocktail that they had all night. Talking about the monkey's eyebrow.
Wow, so if we take anything away from this, Arizona Cocktail Week, a fantastic time to check out some different Arizona bars and bars from around the world. But really, you could have saved all that time, all that money. You could have come to the Golden Tiki. We had the best drink. Really, the rest of it, from how you put it forward, was kind of a disappointment. No one else even came close. And the majority of people went away lamenting, why didn't I just go to Vegas to the Golden Tiki? It's nice to see Adam here, and maybe a slightly better lit environment. But really, everyone else's, how did you say it? Bar program is clown shoes, and just pales in comparison to what we're doing. Bold words, especially since I know you're friends with some of those people. But I mean, if there's truth in it, then preach on.
You know what? Well, clown shoes. Clown shoes can be a beautiful thing, but I don't remember saying that, but it's possible. We do drink a lot, so um, no. But yeah, the monkey's eyebrows. The drinks were well received. Obviously, there was a lot of great
And
drinks.
backpedaling, backpedaling,
Yeah,
backpedaling.
yeah. We were next to Strongwater. Strongwater had a delicious drink. Undertow, their cocktail was great as well. Obviously, we were working a lot, so I didn't get to imbibe as much as if I would have just gone as a patron. But yeah, our drinks were well received, and I felt really proud that we were even there with all those great bars. But
So,
yeah,
you do a lot of these different events throughout the year, whether it's Tiki by the Sea, multiple Tiki Oases, this Rum Congress, Arizona Cocktail Week, the Poughkeepsie Flip Room,
yeah, yeah, yeah. The
uh,
Schenectady Skank Fest 3000.
um, is there one throughout the year you look forward to more than any other?
So, I mean, that is a good question. I always love going to Tiki Oasis San Diego because to go back home is always a fun thing. And just the amount of ohana that we feel there, it's just really special. Um, that one I do think Tales of the Cocktail will be fun to go to eventually, because I haven't been in a few years, and New Orleans is calling,
Yeah.
Latitude is calling, and that one's just really that one gets very very intense since the
Well, and
amount
you
of
have a lot of friends at
industry
Tiki
that are
by the Sea,
involved.
right?
And Tiki by the Sea as well is that one is definitely all industry. It's almost like a summer camp uh, for not just tiki bartenders, many craft bartenders that want to go and learn about tiki. And that's something about Peter Nevoglowski from Avua Kashasa and other things. He's the one that started that, and so it's usually at his parents' hotel in Wildwood, New Jersey, which is this mid-century modern vacation beach town. That's still kind of intact. That has really cool, weird architecture there. And yeah, that one's a really good time. And that was where I one time I spoke there. I got to speak with Brother Cleve before he
Oh,
passed.
wow.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
And there's just so many good people, and just you just bond with people from all over the country, and industry people especially. It's pretty special.
So if there was a state that does not currently have sort of a tiki festival, what state would you want to go to put on um some kind of tiki thing that doesn't exist? You have I think they just quit the one in Portland this last year.
Yeah,
I
Palo
think that
Palo.
ran its course, the Hele Pele. um but there's these outcroppings of tiki conventions popping up around the country. If you could wave your wizard sleeve and create a tiki convention bar thing in any state of the union, where would it be and why?
So, well, this will be a two-part answer. Um, but two parts being in one place. Vegas, Vegas, baby. That is where there needs to be a tiki festival. From the minute I joined Golden Tiki, I dreamed of having one eventually. We can maybe offset it at the same time, not do it at the same time as Viva, have it at a different time. It's shown that, especially now with so many new bars opening up, and you know, rum bars, tiki bars, tropical escapism bars that are opening up all over. I think it's about time for us to kind of catch wind in those sails. And that being said, there is going to be Tiki by the Sea in the desert coming up in May
Oh, wow.
here in Las Vegas. So they're going to do it'll be like the Tiki by the Sea. They've done it before, and this is all people that have gone to previous Tiki by the Seas. So it's kind of an alumni session. So this is really fun that Peter's going to do that. Only bummer is that, and then they are going to do a takeover, an event at Golden Tiki, but I will be out of the country at that time. So Nick,
Oh,
you're going to have to be our rep
oh, I can't wait to
at
tank
Tiki by
that.
the Sea.
Where are you going to be
Yeah,
now?
we're going to be in Germany. It's going to be a family
That's when you're
trip.
going back to Berlin.
Yes, Berlin, Bavaria, and Munich, and then we're going to we're actually I'll be doing an event in Munich as well. I'll be pouring some tiki and amaro cocktails in Munich in the
Well, that's
Negroni bar
fantastic.
there.
I
Yeah,
cannot wait for when you come back and I've single-handedly destroyed the empire you've created. This is going to be fun. The agent of chaos in me percolates up, and I can't wait to see new ways to create just entropy. That's
that's
fantastic. Um,
that's part of what we do though. Is you build and then you destroy, and
you
then
build and
the
tear down.
waves, the tide keeps turning.
Exactly, and nature reclaims all.
Uh,
Wow, that sounds like a lot of fun. So you've done like some really neat events, and really have kind of built up this place of expertise for yourself. For anyone that's listening at home right now, do you have any advice that when they want to be the next Adam Raines, they want to be able to create the stories that you do, beyond forego bathing, don't ever see a barber again, just constant mutton and gin. How would you give advice to someone who wanted to follow in your path?
So first of all, I'd say just love it, love it, love it, and then everything else kind of falls in place. Because if you love what you're doing, it definitely doesn't seem like work, and then it'll guide you. Your love for what you do will guide you, and what you want to do. I would say definitely do that. Have the love, and then put in the work. Study, study, study. Put in the work, not just in books, but also like if you want to be a bartender, work behind the bar, like work as a bar back, like put in that elbow grease, put in that time. It shapes your service style, and it shapes your understanding of the industry. Definitely don't put the cart before the horse. And then if you're already a bartender, and you like want to be a brand ambassador, that is awesome. I'm not a brand ambassador, but I would say for you to have legitimacy, or more legitimacy as a brand ambassador, or someone in the industry, put work on your chops, put in that time behind the bar. Don't just try to skip ahead
Right,
so that
circumvent
you,
it. Just yeah.
because then it feels phony. It feels a little bit phony if you do that. And people are successful doing that, but I'm just saying it just doesn't feel as real. And then I'd say lastly, for sure, social media is so huge about it. It sounds cheesy to say it. It's a huge part of the industry. So I mean, there's people that make money that aren't from being a bartender online, that aren't bartenders. You know,
Oh,
like
100%.
there's a thing, and like, yeah, would I say, yeah, maybe am I jealous? Yeah, probably. You know, but I'd say so. Don't neglect that part, but you need to do all of it to be well rounded, and then you'll be a booze idiot like me.
Well, and I
You
think,
can't see
yeah, we all do aspire to be a booze idiot like you, but
it.
I think there's something to be said too, like for the people listening around the country, like if you're truly serious in spirits and wanting to make a name for yourself, you might need to move markets. I know some amazing cocktail professionals from around the country, but there really only are a few markets that you're going to get any level of national recognition. It doesn't matter how good you are. If you're not in, let's be honest, Minneapolis is a great market. No one fucking cares. Chicago, that's basically your Midwest. Kansas City, sorry, no one cares. Omaha, no one cares. Do you run a bar in Cleveland? Great, no one cares. You've got to be in New York, Austin, LA,
San
Portland.
Francisco,
Um,
now San
even
Diego's
well,
getting,
yeah, San Francisco's good, but San Diego is still kind of on the cusp. If you're in San Diego, why aren't you in LA if you're that good? You know,
well, now
um,
San Diego just got rated, I think, number 4 cocktail city. Believe it or not, I don't remember the
really?
rating. Yeah,
No, that's
like
fantastic. By Adam
yeah,
Raines. You gave
they
him, wow,
are.
your hometown, you gave number four. That seems
And I
harsh.
moved away. I mean,
It's
I
so
moved away.
weird. Why did you give Schenectady number one? Why do you always bring up Schenectady? Is that where
I
the
mean,
bodies are
Kalamazoo
buried? What's
also.
happening?
Where's the bodies? Where's the bodies, man? Where's the bodies,
Um,
Garth?
yeah, it's interesting.
But no,
uh,
that's
you,
a great point, because
yeah,
yeah, it's even Las Vegas. Everyone comes to Las Vegas, but we still, I mean, besides for Herbs and Rye, we're not taken seriously on the cocktail scene, and you can, I think there's some truth to it, because I mean, there's so much talent that is working at a casino in a union place, or working at a local gaming place, because they're making $500 a night, $1,000 a night, like that
pouring Jack
money
and Cokes and
talks.
popping Bud Lights. Yeah,
Right. And then if you're busting your ass in a craft bar, or even a tiki bar, you're making $150, $200, $300 on an amazing night, which is still pretty good. You can make a living, but it's not $1,000 for doing nothing, you know? So
right.
so that's where a lot of our talent draw goes to. And then just the union, I'm definitely pro union, but the union keeps people locked in, and it, to be honest, breeds mediocrity. You know,
Well,
it
no,
is
100%. And
one
it's
thing that kind
it's
of brings us down.
one of those things that when you're talking with bartenders and these bartenders that aspire to be more, we talk about this craft cocktail movement. And let's be honest, that began about 20 years ago. Got Dead Rabbit popping up, and you've got Death and Company popping up. And that really started writ large this kind of movement of, oh wow, let's go back, let's rediscover the classics, and let's really get vest and tie about bartending again. And before that ever went to LA, that hit Chicago. And as much as we sleep on Chicago as a cocktail city, like, you've got the aviary popping up that is literally redefining what a cocktail is. And sure, they pretentious, yeah, probably, but also they're doing science that the majority of us will never understand to change out what a drinking experience is. And then it took about another 2.5, 3 years to get out to Los Angeles with craft cocktail culture. And then, as we know, when LA hits, then it floods back on the rest of the country. But yeah, this we talk about this tiki renaissance that we're in, and this sort of craft cocktail movement, but really it's not even a generation old. You know, from when both you and I, Adam, started becoming bartenders in the scene, we were still locked in the 70s, 80s, and 90s doldrums of just terrible, terrible
Just
mixology.
make it sweet and make it a fun color, and that's it.
Yeah. Does
You're
it have
great.
a is it a frog semen? Is it a duck fart? Yeah, that's a drink. You're
Yeah,
having fun, buddy. We're having a good time. Doesn't matter that
right,
it tastes like trash. You're
right.
gonna have the worst hangover of your life. Um, yeah, it's important to look at your history and to be honest and just say like you brought up, what are you excited about? I challenge as part of my management strategy with what I do. Like I challenge myself every day to go into the same spot and say, what am I excited about today? Like what really is blowing me up? What do I want to give my infectious enthusiasm towards? And I try and challenge our staff that. And if you can try and find that as a bartender, like, yeah, it's the same thing every day. And you're gonna get the like, can I have a Tito's and vodka? More often than not. And that's a bummer. And people that like with what we do, like, what do you mean you don't have Bud Light? Like, that's not what we do. And navigate those waters and still say, like, yeah, it may not be for every guest, but for a lot of guests, I want to be that pilot. I want to put out that amazing experience and be that person. And I think one of our bartenders, Josh, is a great example of that. You know, when we've had so many tiki people in, when we had Spike Marble in, and he said, you know, make me something that's a hybrid of a zombie and a jet pilot. Like less confident bartenders would have been like, I don't know, I've seen you on the internet, and so I'm really afraid. Like, I'm not gonna do that. And Josh said, yeah, okay, and made him a drink. And now we have
Yeah,
people that come in and like, what's that drink you made Spike Marble that was on a show? Like, can I have that? And like, okay,
right. Isn't that
there
crazy?
you go. Yeah, don't be afraid to be that guy. Like the worst thing you do is make a bad drink. And we've all made a
Yeah.
bad drink.
Oh yeah. And yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I just want to make just so we don't have cocktail nerds, like running rampant and yelling our names and cursing and
Oh, is my
leaving all those
history a bit
bad
off?
comments. Yeah, yeah, just a little bit. So, I mean, it was a broad stroke, and it's you could go in the minutia like for days, but yeah, it was really kind of like Dale DeGroff, Rainbow Room, 80s, and then it kind of caught fire with a lot of people. So we'll have to like research when did employees only open because
Right.
that's huge. When did Milk and Honey open? Because Sasha Petrasky from Milk and Honey, like he after Dale DeGroff, he inspired everybody. Like all like all how we set up the bar is from him. All the batching, all how we build a cocktail is like from him. Like even like the Nomad Bar program is from him. So and Dead Rabbit and Death and Co. I don't know what year they opened in relation to EO because employees only is huge because
Right.
as well,
Well, and I
So
think, yeah, where I'm coming from, and I'm not disputing you at all. Where I'm coming from is a bit more like, yeah, the cocktail nerds, if we follow it, you know, we could say, well, no, they opened 3 days before, or, you know, anything like that. But it was Death and Co. and Dead Rabbit that I cite because you look before them, like buying a cocktail book was more of a novelty. They weren't really anything of substance. And I think what they both did so well was defining their brands and bringing that to the masses, putting out these cocktail books that people wanted to buy. And I think one of the smartest things that Death and Co has done is just merchandise everything. You know, you are a bartender in the Midwest or in the South, somewhere where you're trying to make a name for yourself, but there really isn't the market to stand out, but you can buy a Death and Co bar kit. You've got shakers, you know,
mm-hmm.
the strainers, the whole thing. Like, yeah, it's what I find so fascinating about capitalism. It's like, yes, I still purchase this, but it's because I'm enough of a professional that I would only use Death and Co. brand barware.
Right, right, right,
Um,
right.
and yeah, I within real cocktail nerds, like I'm sure there was a lot more rumblings early on. But what I look at is kind of how I define that statement as
Gotcha.
big cultural shifts, not
Mm,
just, people that were sort of intrinsically mired, in the industry to begin with. And you can say that with Tiki. Like Otto found through his chat rooms and stuff like that, other tiki enthusiasts. But it wasn't really until he started throwing his parties and Jeff put out
mm.
Grog Log and that then it started reaching writ all, across the country. So again, I apologize if I was wrong, if I offended anyone.
Yeah, just because, yeah, because I know I just looked it up because I didn't know, but I knew like Dead Rabbit opened like 2013, and like Milk and Honey in 1999, and then like Eat Employees Only 2003. So it's like way early on. So I just don't want us to be thinking
No, no,
like,
no.
oh, we're some
I don't
Irish
disagree with you.
immigrants started all this, all
I think there were great people doing things early on, but it comes down to marketing. Like it doesn't mean that their product was superior, but again, why is Stephen Crane, mentioned as a third man of Tiki? Like, yeah, he did it well. He did it really well. He wasn't Vic, he wasn't Don, but he did an amazing job of, pairing with the Sheraton Hotel and bringing Tiki to a big part of the country that wouldn't have it. So, yeah, there's always with everything there's going to be a debate like who created it, who inspired who. Um, but really, and this is going to be a harsh statement, but what it comes down to ultimately is like who successfully marketed it the best. Um, you can have the best widget or cocktail or whatever in the world for you and your 17 buddies that really care about that. But if you can't find a way to translate that to the masses, then you've got something really unique and beautiful that no one cares about.
yeah.
And it,
No, I mean
yeah,
that's true, but I'm just thinking because like Dead Rabbit, they're like
yeah,
newcomers essentially, and Death and Co. A little bit after Employees Only, and they're definitely right there at the inception as well. I just don't like because for me, like Dead Rabbit, for me it was always like, oh, that's a cool bar. Like it wasn't not like, and I ever just was studying cocktails and cocktails and cocktails like forever. So for me, like being having it so near and dear to me, like there was almost they were like a cool bar, but almost an afterthought
sure, sure, sure.
after 10 years later is a good amount of time.
No, I don't disagree
And
with that.
there's and I know, yeah, and depending on marketing, marketing sticks in different areas of the country too. So maybe where you were first and foremost, but I'm like far away from there as well. So employees only like stuck out to me, maybe because I met them or whatever, I met some of the owners. So maybe that's why I'm like rooting for them. But
No, and
we
I agree. I think you bring up a really interesting like sort of thought experiment with it. Like there are timelines, there are people that did things at different times, but then how they impact different areas of the country, how they impact different people, and what brings everyone under that umbrella. And I think that go back to my root point. Like you can be the first, but if your message isn't getting out there, like if you're not in the right market, if your blanket is too specific, then
or there
okay, it
wasn't a
comes
down
down
before
to
that,
comes down to a pedantic argument. Like, some of the best tiki cocktails I've ever had are at the La Lono Rum Club in Omaha. But how many dyed in the wool tiki fans are going to go to fucking Omaha, Nebraska,
I
for
will.
a
We all
small
need to go.
bar? You all should go. It's all fantastic. But yeah,
Right
for a
by
small
the
bar
Congress building. Yeah.
that yeah, that's just in kind of the old town market. Yeah, one of Bradley, their GM, and I remember having a great conversation with like in the Midwest, you have to fight so much harder because you can have the best beverage program and no one cares. It doesn't matter what you're doing, no one cares. But you
Right.
fight for it because of the love. Um,
That's what it
and
comes
Adam,
down
that's
to.
why we do this because of the love.
Why we fight the Tiki Rebellion.
The
That's
Tiki
why we're
Rebellion, day
here.
in, day out, the Tiki
We're
Pugilists.
we're here for you.
So, Mr. Rains, I appreciate you sharing some of your stories with us. I think that's neat. Not a lot of people have the ability to travel as much as you do and have as much impact that you do. So,
Yeah,
um,
some people think I'm a real asshole for
we're
doing it.
we're recording tonight because you're leaving again tomorrow.
Yes, heading out to Texas to the Texas Rum Fest in beautiful Dallas, Tejas.
They're I'm starting to think these rum fests are a little less exotic than I once imagined they were.
Well, no, that's the thing. That's what Federico wants to do. He wants to expand the category and just elevate it. Like he feels that it should be up there with with the best cognacs and the best scotches. Like it should be beloved and admired just as those. So that's what he's doing.
That sounds exciting.
We're
So
taking it
when
on the
when you
road.
go to Texas Rum Fest, are you going to do a takeover? What are you doing there?
This one I wasn't able to put together a takeover, but I will be going. I'm gonna probably go to Swizzle while I'm there and check out have some rum cocktails there. I'll just be pouring on the main floor and doing continuing that research. Like I said, it's hard work. Research, research, research.
And I'm sure your liver regrets it, but we all appreciate the professionalism that you so resoundingly bring to the table every time.
Suffering for the craft.
So, Mr. Rains, again, thank you for being a part of the Tiki Rebellion. As we sign off from this current episode, is there anything you want to impart to the fandom?
I'm happy that you guys have listened to another episode, or maybe not listened. Maybe it was just me listening, but no, I'm happy you guys can come this along on this journey with us. Listen to us, to booze idiots, but we really do love it, and hopefully some of that love comes out. Because I love tropical escapism, love tiki, I love bars, I love booze, I love the stories behind them, and I love doing it all with my friends, and that's what we're doing right now.
So, yeah, if you are watching in on YouTube, please click like, subscribe. There's a notify bell. Ring that goddamn bell. And if you're listening in the audio realm, please subscribe. Our socials are underneath here in the basement of the video. You want to hear us talk about something? You want to hear more Adam Rain stories? Do you want to hear me tell more half-remembered ideas of how cocktail culture has evolved and then have Adam correct me? Who doesn't? So send us an email. It is contact@tikirebellion.com. You can find us on Instagram. We are Tiki Rebellion. We want to hear from you. And yeah, if Adam ever returns from all of these epic adventures that he's on, we will be filming the next one. Do you have any idea what you want to go over with the next one?
Oh, the next one, maybe we can touch a little bit on the Texas Rum Fest. We have another Las Vegas Rum Club coming up as well. So I'm sure that'll be on Tuesday. So I'm sure that'll be after.
Have some
We'll record
brands in that
after.
we can talk
Yeah,
about. And
yeah.
a little bit of a controversial idea I've been kicking around for a while. Because this will be our fifth episode after this one. I'm feeling a little bit feisty. 5 years is when we start to kind of feel that wanderlust again. You did try and get me to leave in the second episode, so that was a little fucked up. But I have come back from Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. I've come back from
Ooh,
Arkansas or Alabama or whatever shithole you sent me to. And I kind of have an idea. The things in Tiki that chap our asses. As two people that have been in this
ooh.
industry for about a decade each, what's some stuff that goddamn I am tired of answering that question? Because again, that's why we're here. We're the professionals, and we're not just here to educate, we're here to tell you to knock it the fuck off. So, Thank you for tuning into the Tiki Rebellion. We can't wait to see you next time. But maybe after that, you can wait to see us. It's always lovely to see you, Mr. Rains. Travel well to Texas. Be safe with you and yours. And I look forward to our next pedantic exercise.
You too, brother. Yeah. Cut. Let me remember what the other one is. Cut.
No,
Arms.
no cuts. I edit these, no edits.
Edit. Do you see
I only
this?
edit if it makes
Oh.
me look better. If it makes you look bad, it stays in.
There. You know.